Hey there, YouTubers and collectors. Salvador Los Angeles here with a video I've been wanting to do for some time. And this video is simply titled 12 Underappreciated Figures Made by NECA. And it's simply that. These are figures that I think were underappreciated, not much fanfare to my knowledge. And I think they're great figures, but they sat on the shelf and then I even saw them at discount stores. Let's take this one for example. NECA's Prototype figure. This sat on the shelf for a long time. What people didn't like about it, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a popular game. Maybe they didn't like this grotesque right arm, but that was based on the video game. I think it's a beautiful figure. Underappreciated. Next up, we have a Gears of War figure. Damon Baird, or Baird, I hope I'm saying that right. Beautiful figure, sat on the shelf. Still sitting on the shelf, I believe. Why? I have no idea. I believe there was a different earlier version of this that maybe people liked more. I don't know. I think Gears of War in general may be a little underappreciated and overshadowed by the Predator line. But my two favorite complete lines and sets made by NECA are Predators and Gears of War. Beautiful set, beautiful figure, underappreciated. Lady Smith Splicer from the game Bioshock. Again, she sat on the shelf for a long time. Still might find her there, probably not, but she sat for a long time. A beautiful figure with a rolling pin, an awesome Tommy gun she comes with. I believe all of this based on the video game, that great mask. Another underappreciated figure. While we're still here in the Bioshock universe, Brute Splicer. In fact, I saw a guy recently on a message board, I believe it was on the NECA Facebook page, asking, should I get rid of this figure? You know, he didn't want it. He didn't think it was any good, I suppose. This is a beautiful figure and a great size, great face sculpt. Brute Splicer, Bioshock video game figure. Underappreciated. Smoker figure from the video game Left 4 Dead. An awesome figure. Recently saw this for $10. Perhaps it was the $22.99 price tag that swayed people from getting it, but this thing sat on the shelf for a long time, and then I recently picked him up for $10. An underappreciated figure. Perhaps because Robert Englund was not in the starring role, and instead we had Jackie Earle Haley in the reboot of Nightmare on Elm Street, is why people did not like these figures, or they were not flying off the shelves. Of course, this is Freddy Krueger, played by Jackie Earle Haley, and then Freddy Krueger post-Burns, In Your Dreams, of course, Jackie Earle Haley. Great figure, great glove, great blades. I think actually some of the best blades on a Freddy figure are on this particular figure. The reboot of A Nightmare on Elm Street, played by Jackie Earle Haley. An underappreciated set. I reviewed these, I'm explaining these as one figure because they're from the same series, from the same movie. I think that both of them were just underappreciated. Half-Life 2 Gordon Freeman figure. Perhaps it was the price tag. I think this was up to $27.99. I think I might have even seen it as high as that. I think I paid about $25 for it when it first came out, but I still see this sitting on the shelf a year later. This is a very nice figure with a great accessory here, with great colors. Gordon Freeman from Half-Life, another underappreciated figure. Borderlands Psycho Bandit figure. When I first saw this figure, it was online. And I said, I better buy that thing because that's going to fly off the shelves. And guess what? It didn't. It did not fly off the shelves. It's still sitting on the shelves. And I think this is a really great figure with a really great accessory. But another example of an underappreciated figure. I'm just going to put all of these together. And these are the Eclipse Twilight figures. I'm not sure which are Series 1 and 2 or etc. etc. I think it just became so commonplace to hate Eclipse and to hate Twilight for various reasons. People that hate the teen movies, or people that don't think vampires should be the way they are in the movie or the book or whatever. But it just seems like because people hated on the movie so much, they almost decided to hate on the figures. I still see some of these figures out there today at very cheap prices. And once upon a time, some figures that were hard to come by, you can find real easily today in a lot of collectible stores. I just think that the whole Eclipse Twilight set and figures were underappreciated. And I may argue NECA, I don't think, put as much time and energy as they did. I've noticed that a lot of the NECA figures that have to do with what I would probably say young adult world, whether it be Hunger Games or whether it be Twilight, they don't put as much articulation into them, and there's not as much fanfare surrounding them. So I would say by everybody, maybe NECA included, Twilight Eclipse underappreciated figures. Portal 2 Chell figure. Again, if price is always a consideration, this figure was expensive when it came out, about $24.99 I believe. This little gadget does have LED light up. I recently saw this at Toys R Us for $7.98. A low price for such an exceptional figure. Chell from Portal 2, an underappreciated figure. I'm putting these two together because they came out as a set. Series 1 from the Lone Ranger, Tonto, and the Lone Ranger. So I guess the question may come up as you watch this video, well, what qualifies as underappreciated? I'll tell you what qualifies as underappreciated. If it sits on the shelf. If it is not flying off the shelf, it is underappreciated, because we all know NECA makes wonderful figures. So if it's still there months later, why? Well, maybe the figure does suck, but that's unlikely, seeing as how NECA is only getting better and better. They're just underappreciated, especially, I think, this Tonto figure. Beautiful detail on this thing. An awesome Lone Ranger figure. I don't know about the movie. I didn't see the movie. I don't have to see a movie to decide if a figure is nice or not. Beautiful figures. Underappreciated figure. Tonto and Lone Ranger. Underappreciated. In fact, I even got the quarter scale versions of these figures because I like them so much. The final figure, and this is practically the reason I did this video. If I did no other figures, if I talked about no other figures in this video, but one, it would be this one. And this is Perseus, of course, from the reboot of Clash of the Titans. Now, I'm not even here to speak about the movie. I don't even remember the movie, honestly, whatever. But this is such a beautiful figure and is underappreciated big time. It almost makes me angry when I think about how underappreciated this figure is, how long it sat on the shelf, and how cheap I've seen it. Look at that tortoiseshell shield. This thing is awesome. A beautiful figure. I practically made this video for this figure alone. Perseus from the Clash of the Titans remake, an underappreciated figure. Well, here they are, folks. My personal list of what I consider to be NECA's most underappreciated figures. So give these figures a fair try, have a look at them, or rediscover them in your own collection. Beautiful figures, and you could possibly pick them up at a real great price today. All right, everybody, this has been Salvador Los Angeles with my list of NECA's most underappreciated figures. And I thank you for watching.